welcome back everyone to the Fantasy Premier League show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We are at Official FPL, not one of those other FPL sites, Official FPL, and that's where you'll get all the latest news and tips and warnings about double game weeks. No, got away with that one. And the like. Jules,
no klaxon that time, no klaxon that time. It's time now to talk about Leicester City, the Premier League champions, because it's all changed in the last week, Mark. I mean, they've sacked Claudio Ranieri. We now don't know what's going to happen in terms of who's going to manage Leicester for the rest of the season. And their performance against Liverpool was like a Leicester of last season, wasn't it? And, I mean, we've got to talk about last season because Vardy and Mahrez last season were absolute fantasy gems. I mean, you relied on them heavily. Most FPL managers did last season, didn't they?
Yeah, we were on them really quickly. I mean, we didn't expect it to last the entire season, but it did. And Mahrez and Vardy in particular were bargains, and it just made the season far easier to invest in big players elsewhere. Yeah. But also, folks, these three were all in my team last season. They served me so well. And this season, obviously, they got price hikes because of their success last term, and they haven't really hit the form to justify those price tags, and so never been in our squads.
Until Monday night when they played against Liverpool and we saw them put on a performance that's made FPL managers think, hang on a minute, do we need to get them in our side? So these are the three you've picked out. Christian Fuchs, first of all, so far this season has averaged about 2.3 tackles per game. He notched up 8 in the match against Liverpool and he got the assist, one of the assists as well. So is he the best choice for a defender if you're going to go for any Leicester defender?
You touched on it. The assist was key. Now, he got 4 assists last season. He was always a threat getting forward. His dead ball delivery as well is very assured. He wins a lot of tackles, which helps in the BPS. So Fuchs at 5'2", if you're going to get a Leicester defender in for a couple of weeks or maybe just one game week, he is the best option because he gives you that clean sheets plus bonus plus the threat of an assist or even a goal. I think Fuchs is a good option, a good choice, but maybe not for a long period, just for 1 or 2 game weeks. 60
points so far. Morgan's on 61, but because of that assist potential, you'd choose him over Morgan.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just a factor going forward, and he just that dead ball delivery is also just so assured.
OK, now this guy, top point scorer in FPL last season, Riyad Mahrez. Did you see glimmers of him getting back to his old self in the game on Monday? He hasn't scored from open play yet this season.
Yeah, he was a lesser light on Monday. He showed little glimpses, but I mean, I still think the talent that he showed last season, we've got to see that this season, surely. As you say, he was a top point scorer in everybody's team. It's hard to believe he's going to go through the whole season without having a purple patch, and it could be on its way now because confidence will get back into the team. But for me, Monday night was all about Jamie Vardy.
It really was, wasn't it? He was the star guy in Monday night's game. 2 of the goals against Liverpool. And if you look at these stats, I mean, they are phenomenal. I was astonished by this. You can see that if you compare his form at the start of the season up until game week 25 and then against Liverpool, these stats have almost doubled in the match against Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, touches in the box is eye-catching for me. I mean, he really was causing Liverpool defence a nuisance. He was running all round them and he was just more available to the midfield to get the ball in dangerous areas. And dribbles as well shows that his confidence was up. Only making 1.22 before game week 26 and he made 4 in that Liverpool game. So more confident, more energy, much more threat from Vardy. And that suggests that he could be a factor in our season.
So, should we be getting him into our sides? Let's take a look at Leicester's fixtures going forward for the next few game weeks. This is looking pretty tasty.
Yeah, I mean, what's ideal is they play Hull next, which should be a testing ground. We can scout them out in that, because Hull are going to be very different opposition to Liverpool. If in that game they again look strong, then I think after game week 28, we've got to start considering Leicester in this period here.
In terms of fixture difficulty rating, we can see that they've got possibly easier fixtures coming up, but these are important games for them to win in terms of staying up, aren't they? Yeah, so they're going to be tough games.
Absolutely, but they look very, very winnable, and Vardy, in the mood that he was in, could be a factor now. Now, I'm not saying, again, he's not an asset we're going to bring in perhaps to the end of the season, but for 2 or 3 game weeks, just as a differential, he can be very explosive. Hat-trick against Man City early in the season, and the 2 goals against Liverpool just demonstrate what he can do in terms of delivering a big score.
Well, actually, Leicester only have to play 3 of the top 6 towards the end, between now and the end of the season. So that's also hope for Leicester players in our FPL teams, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking carefully at what they do against Hull, how they perform. If it looks like they can maintain Monday's form, then I'm going to look around this period for maybe Vardy coming in as a differential.
OK, well, could be time to get Leicester players in, James.
All right then, Fox News with Jules and Mark there. You want to hear something remarkable about Cesc Fabregas? He's only completed the 90 minutes 4 times this season. Despite that, though, he's still got more assists than any other Chelsea player. Nevertheless, he reckons that some of his teammates could be worth your fantasy while.
Probably I would take Diego Costa. He's a player that plays basically all the time. Normally he plays 90 minutes and we are a team that attacks a lot, so Diego Costa, I feel he will always at least have chances to score goals, so he'll be one of them. Then I would take maybe David Luiz, because again he's someone who plays all the time and he's grown up a lot in this system, and I think he's very important for us, especially when we have the ball, because he has this ability to pick up passes from the back, which is very important for example the midfielders. And then I would pick up another one, maybe Pedro, because he's in a fantastic run of form now, scoring goals, and I'm sure that's what gives the most points, so probably I would pick him up. I used to, but now I have too many kids, too many people at home, I don't have time for it.
That's a poor excuse, Fabregas. All right, well, plenty of us are playing the game. We've got questions for you, Mark. Luckily, there is our Twitter post bag, which has been absolutely inundated this week with inquiries about what to do with the double game week. Now, we've touched on a lot of the issues already, but I'm going to bring up one or two more that the good folk out there have tweeted in. So let's go with our first tweet, which is from Mikhail Michalik, who says, who is the best Stoke asset to buy?
If I had to pick one, I think I would go League One on the basis of those save points at the Etihad. I think he could maybe push double figures if he gets a clean sheet against Borough as well.
I like this one from Mihir Misra, who says, is it idiotic to go into game week 27 without any Manchester City attacking options?
I think it is. I think he's going to get left behind if he chooses that option. I think if folk get Aguero in and captain him or even triple captain him, he is going to be miles behind.
Super. Is it worth taking a gamble on Stones for a 4-point hit, says Nidship?
I think Stones could be an option, but not for a hit. If you're spending 4 points, you're basically losing the clean sheet there, so not for the hit.
Right, OK. And the other problem with the Man City players, of course, is you bring them in for the double game week, but then they're not going to be playing in game week 28.
Absolutely. And every City player you bring in, you're losing a player for 28.
Absolutely. All right. Storm Ian says, Sterling or Sané, speaking of bringing in City players, for the double game week, and he's going to lose Ali to make room for just one of them. Which one?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Sterling. Just so consistent. 8 returns in the last 10, 2 goals and 8 assists in that spell. So for me, he has the edge on Sané. OK, a Stoke shout now for Crouch as a potential differential captain, because no one else will have him. We touched on it earlier, don't we? We don't know if he's going to play both games. I don't think he will. I think he'll play at City, which is the one you don't want him to play. I think Berahino plays against Borough, so OK, no for that. OK, moving on to non-double game week questions. Irfan says, is Andre Ayew at West Ham a good Premier League prospect? Yeah, I had him in my team last season at Swansea. He was such a big factor for them, and he hasn't really cracked it at West Ham, but he's been injury-prone. I think his time may come, but it's still Antonio for me in that West Ham team. He is still the big option there. OK. Is Robbie Brady at $5.5 million fantasy dollars the next mid-lower price gem? He's done well. A goal and assist in his first 2 starts, so he's settled in very well at Burnley, taking all the set pieces. But I just think Josh King, Ryan Fraser, I spoke about him earlier, and Snodgrass is one to watch. But Brady's fixtures 3 away in the next 3, so it's tough for him. One last question for you. At this point of the season, is it better to go for 3-5-2 or 4-4-2? Yeah, this is intriguing because we're entering a period now where there's a lot of informed strikers, so a lot of people, I think, are going to look to go back to 3 up front. But I still favour 3-5-2. I still think the value will stay in midfield, and playing 5 there is a winning formula. All right, then. Super stuff. Hope that's answered some of your questions. Get more in and we'll deal with them next week. Mark, let's you and I head over to the lovely Jules.
Come and join me, guys.
And we're going to talk about
Mark's team.
Mark's team.
Time to take a look at Mark's team now. Coming into this double game week, everyone's going to want to know what you're doing, and we can see already you have 2 City players in there. Are you thinking of bringing in a third? You've gone Aguero and Sterling so far. Yeah, I'm studying it. I'm pausing on it right now, but Hazard is in danger. It could be really? Hazard out.
Hazard's away at West Ham, and away from home he never does anything, does he? Yeah, they've got 4 in 6 away, so that's the factor at play there. So, yeah, Sané could be in. I could be going free. And you've captained Aguero there, but I know that you're thinking of triple captaining him. I've got to, I think. Yeah? Because of the fixtures, this is a perfect scenario. And I think the form he showed against Huddersfield, it's just so strong. That first-time finish is a confident striker. I'm on the verge of giving him the triple captainship. Yeah. Oh, my word. If you didn't give it to him, let's have a look at 1 or 2 of the other options.
Yeah, it's difficult to look beyond Aguero or the City players. De Bruyne is another player in there we haven't mentioned tonight. He's a heavy hitter, but it's his price which is a problem there. Sterling would be my second choice.
And you've gone for some other options. I mean, if you weren't going to go for a City player, which, as you've already said, would be a little bit silly, the likes of Zlatan would be up there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, if you haven't got City assets in your squad for the weekend, then Zlatan is the option. Home to Bournemouth, you've got to think goals there.
Absolutely.
Okie doke. Right, time to get to some good news now. Lots of you have been asking us who won the FPL Show Cup. We can officially announce we are in the presence of FPL royalty. Mark Sothers was the FPL Show Cup winner. You have beaten JJ, Liverspoons FC, and you have taken home the cup. Congratulations, Mark Sothers.
It wasn't the showpiece, but look at that. On the mantelpiece, next to the swimming certificate.
It's got your name on it and everything. Give us a lift,
correctly.
Mark.
Look at that. Silverware at last. I've got to go for the double now, haven't I?
You've got to go for the
How
double.
far are you off the top?
I'm 30 points behind Owen. He's stretched away again. But this might intimidate him. You never know. It might be a mind-games factor.
You know, winning breeds winning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a cup
Exactly.
run. Fantastic.
Well, look, you're in form. You've got momentum for this double game week. Best of luck to you. There it is. And best of luck to all of you at home for this double game week
Best
as
of
well.
luck to you, Jules, as well.
I'm not wishing you good luck. I need to win.
I don't need it, Jules.
You don't need it, do you?
But anyway, we'll be back here next week. Do make sure you join us then. Have a super week in the meantime. From all of Sid's, bye-bye.
Bye.